No problem. Thank you, and no problem. That was the vocabulary of our marriage. We were polite. We were considerate. We were strangers who knew how each other liked their eggs. The driver got me there on time. Mr. Jackson was already waiting in the gazebo, his eyes twinkling. He was a grumpy old man who cheated at chess and talked too much, which was why no one else would play with him. We'd become unlikely friends over the years. At the time, I hadn't known he was Nate's grandfather. To me, he was just Arthur, the man who complained about his stubborn, blockhead grandson. Claire, dear, Arthur said, waving a hand in front of my face. You're miles away today. You just walked right into a scholar's mate. I looked down. The board was a disaster. I forced a smile. You got me, Arthur. I'm off my game. He studied me, his eyes sharp. Did you and Nate have a fight? I shook my head. We didn't fight. We didn't have enough friction to spark a flame, let alone a fire. That boy, Arthur sighed. He's always been emotionally stunted. I'll have a word with him. The idea of Nate being stunted was almost funny. In high school, he was the definition of soulful. He was a romantic extremist. He'd bought roses for every girl in the senior class just so Camille wouldn't feel singled out by her strict parents. He'd braved a suspension to light up the sky with her name. I'd seen the roses. I'd seen the fireworks. I was just the girl in the background, benefiting from the fallout of his love for someone else. The realization hit me then, sharp and cold. I was afraid. I have spent my life waiting for the 50% off stickers at the grocery store, waiting for the last bus in the rain, waiting in the foster system for a family that never came. I was falling into the old habit again. I was waiting for the inevitable, waiting for Nate to realize he still loved her, waiting for the we need to talk conversation, waiting to be discarded. Usually the waiting was a numb, dull thing, but this time it hurt. I decided for the first time in my life to be brave. I went to Nate's office. I rehearsed the questions in my head the whole way there. Do you still love her? Are we over? I didn't even make it past the lobby. The receptionist gave me a polished, pitying smile. I'm sorry, Mrs. Vance, but Nate is in a closed-door session. Unless it's an emergency? I wasn't even sure if Nate wanted his employees to know he was married to someone like me. I hadn't pushed for a public profile. It's fine, I said. I pulled out my phone to call him just as the elevator dinged. Nate walked out, surrounded by a phalanx of VPs. He looked at his phone, a flicker of confusion crossing his face, but he didn't answer. I hung up instinctively. He was walking slower than usual, leaning back to listen to someone behind him. As they cleared the corner, I saw her, Camille. She looked exactly the same, the kind of timeless beauty that didn't need filters. She was walking beside him, her hand occasionally brushing his arm. Is that the same ringtone? She asked, her voice carrying across the lobby. I can't believe you still use that piano track. It was my favorite. 17-year-old Nate listened to nothing but grunge and heavy.